Yes, go pull in the myth right now. That's it. That's the video. Okay, no, just kidding. Hey guys, it's Emily. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna be talking about Sylus's new myth and whether or not you should pull on it. Though, judging by the intro, the answer might be obvious. If you are new to my channel and this is the first video you are seeing of me, I have started making videos for every single banner except for, I think, Raphael's Sweet Overdrive, but I didn't have time to play that one, so that's why that one didn't get a video. But I make a video talking about whether or not you should actually try to get the card if it's worth it, or maybe you should hold off and save your diamonds for another banner. I'm someone that does pull on everything, so I can let you know all of the information, such as battle components, the story itself, because I've read the whole story, so I know what happens. And if it's worth it. Do I regret pulling on it? Do I think it's worth it? I don't think I actually ever regret pulling on anything, but you know, you could regret things in future hindsight because there might be like, oh, this new thing's coming up, right? And if you're not sure whether or not you should save or if you should try to get this one, I'm here to be your guide. I'm here to help you make a decision. I'm just gonna explain all the information that I have and leave the decision up to you. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into it. First, starting off with the battle component. So, Sylus's new myth, Battle Stella Chrome, is blue. His other 5-star blue cards include Immobilize, which is a standard card you can get in the standard wish pool at any time. Magnum Opus, which was a heartfelt gift, but you can get it in the wish shop using your little wish token things, whatever they're called. And Radiant Brilliance, which was a limited banner that came out a while ago, I think. Obviously a while ago. I think over a year, I want to say, at this point. I think it's a solo card. I think I'm thinking of the right card. His 4 stars include Melodic Weave, which you can get in the standard wish pool at any time. In the Galaxy, he has the Solar Pair, which is Blood Knight Blaze and Blood Knight Drift, which came out with his Dragon Myth from last year. And he had a limited 4-star Secret Time. Came with Faunus Treasure, and it's Approaching Dusk. Now in terms of like, okay, like clearly there already is technically a blue solar pair for Sylus, but it's not always really the easiest to get. So trying your luck to get a 4-star in a Galaxy is kind of tricky. Not only that, 4 stars are nothing in comparison to 5 stars. They can help you when need be, but it's always better to have 5 stars of the cards than 4 stars typically. Now this version, most of the time I just kind of talk about the Stella Chrome and what other cards they have, and that's about it. But this one's a little bit different because this is a solar pair. That means it's a battle companion, and that means you're getting a lot of new stuff along with that. Now, disclaimer before we get more into this, I'm not a battle girly. I'm not really the most like smart on all of the elements of combat that come with Love and Deep Space. So I'm gonna recommend, I think there's like a protocol guide that I saw on Reddit, so I'm gonna link that down below if you want to know, if you are more knowledgeable in the battlefront than me. I feel like that's just gonna give you a bit more information. Most of the time I do leave it on auto because I'm like, you know, I'm busy. I don't always have time to battle. Sometimes I will if I can, but I'm not as good at it at the moment, so it's a skill I gotta work on. And so I don't necessarily know like all the ins and outs of battle in that regard. I do know it works well though. I can tell you that I was able to complete the core hunt for the blue one with like, I don't actually, I think I had a few pink probably, because Sylus does have pink obviously, but I did complete that finally, which I could not do with his standard myth, and I got them within like 3 stars immediately, like super fast. So I've also seen other people say that they've been able to complete orbits that they were stuck on, so that's been nice. I've been able to get higher in different things, and it also always helps to have colors for the senior hunter contest to like build up your teams with, as that refreshes bi-weekly. For the main character, the weapon is the wand, which is probably my favorite ever weapons to use. No claymore today. But if you're definitely worried about like a whole King of Dark Knight situation, I'll let you know. I don't think it's that. I have King of Dark Knight and I find it struggles definitely for sure. Like I don't feel like King of Dark Knight is all that powerful, unfortunately. But I do feel like this is definitely a good one to have and definitely will be one that will help you in battle. I also did want to note that I did get R1 of this, which usually I don't. I like never get R1 of like anything. Oh, actually no. I usually R1 the multi-banners because I like getting the outfits. So I R1 some of those if I like the outfits enough. But for Miss, I like haven't gotten R1 at all this year, because especially because like you're trying to get 2 cards to R1 and that's really difficult. So I luckily did, so I will let you know that. So I don't feel like it's that big of a difference in like comparison of like R0 and being like, I could only pass this because I have R1. Like I don't think it's like gonna be like that major of a thing. I think even if you have R0, you probably will still do well with having the battle companion. Now let's talk about the actual story itself. Now there is a lot of discourse and debate going on about what Sylus' story is, because on one hand he's called Archfiend Sovereign as the battle companion, and in the story itself he's only ever referred to as a fiend. However, the advertising for the story also leads you to believe that he's clearly a vampire, and I'm just gonna come with the happy compromise middle here. He is technically a fiend from the underworld, but I would say he has a lot of vampire traits. He drinks blood, he sleeps in a coffin, but the MC can summon him from the underworld, and that's where he's from. But, you know, aside from that, like, I don't really feel like it leans too far. I am not really like a fan of demons, per se. I don't really read stuff like that personally. So if that is like, you know, maybe for like religious reasons, if that is something that is a worry to you, I actually would say maybe give this myth a shot. I mean, you know, if you are religious, pray about it, you know, that kind of thing. But I found it to be okay. I didn't feel like, oh my goodness, like this is super like demonic and dark and like I don't really feel like spiritually I can read it. I felt like it was okay for me personally, but that's just me. He's also very much a vampire, like he needs blood to survive. It's not like he's just drinking blood for fun. No, you can tell when he's hungry, and so there's quite a few like feeding scenes in the story. So it's a mix of both. If you want to call him a vampire, that's okay. If you want to call him a fiend, that's okay. Let's just meet a happy medium. Because clearly, I think saying that like he's not a vampire at all is also like, no, clearly he is a vampire. Clearly that's what they were leaning into. I think he's both. Happy medium is what we're gonna do. At least for me. That's how I see it. I think he's a bit of both, because, you know, he's a dragon too, right? You know, he's like 3 different things at the same time. And so I think that's kind of the point, is that he's not just one thing, he is a mix of all these different things. And we'll probably see that with other love interests as well. It wouldn't surprise me. The plot of his myth is that the main character is a mage who has been cursed with immortality. She's been trying to find a way to break this curse of hers, so she won't be tortured any longer, so she ends up summoning Sylus, and the story goes from there. Also, I want to clarify, this is no spoilers, so I'm not going to be telling you, like, crazy in-depth, like, this happens, and blah, blah, blah. Like, no spoilers here, okay? It's a safe place. The story itself is really beautifully written. I think I struggled a bit with the first half. Like, I was kind of like, okay. But as soon as, like, the second half started going on, I was really into it. I was like sucked in. I love the story that played out between Sylus, the main character. It's definitely like, it's a very like typical story for them, like in a good way. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, it's basic. No, it's like, it's very them centric. It's very much a thing that I think if you are a Sylus fan, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. It has that whole like kind of outcast vibes, and you know, the two of them finding each other, kind of like his dragon myth. It actually has a very similar vibes to his dragon myth. So I think if you enjoyed that, you will also enjoy this as well. I don't think you'll be let down at all. Also, if you can hear some snoring in the background, my dog Steve is sleeping. I don't know if that's coming through on the camera, but I can hear him snoring. But he just wants somebody to hang out with. So he's here. It balances a lot of the moments well. There's, you know, moments where I was laughing. There's moments, I don't think this one made me cry, but there's sad moments for sure. And there's really sweet, heartfelt, romantic moments. And I think the way this is written is very beautiful. Like, that's what was my word, like, after. I was like, wow, that was just really beautiful, the way that was written. So that would be how I would describe it. I also want to mention this definitely is a sequel to his dragon myth. I know, because, like, most of the third myths have been sequels. I don't recommend them being your first myth jumping into it. Like, I would read other parts of the game before going into the third myth, but if it's something that you know you love Sylus and you know you want to play it at least eventually, then definitely get it. But I would recommend, if you didn't get his dragon rerun, go find his myth on YouTube and go play it for yourself, because definitely, not that it's like gonna overtake the story, but there's different things you might miss out on if you don't read that one first. This is also the myth that was mentioned in Death and Rebirth, which for a while, I think most of this myth, I was pretty unsure about that. I was like, is Death and Rebirth myth gonna be like a whole other thing? But it's not. No, it is this one. However, it's not what I expected. Like, I thought that the way it was described in Sylus's Death and Rebirth story, that it was gonna be a bigger portion of this myth, like that was gonna be more of what it was. And instead it's like very brief. And by very brief, I more so mean like a few lines of like text to tell you what's happening. You kind of get to see like a bit of it like at one point, but not too much. And if I had to say like my one complaint about the myth story is the fact that I want it to be longer, which is saying a lot because it's actually really long. If you go on YouTube, it's like 2 hours. I feel like I probably took longer playing it because I usually take a slower time, just like pause with different parts. But I feel like the ending was a little rushed, like we need to get to this ending now, so we're just gonna rush to get there. And I would have liked to see a bit more of their lives between, like the part that was kind of just like info dump to us like on text, I wanted a bit more of that section. So I think that's the only part that I was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. But I would have loved to see a bit more of that, but I still don't think like that's a reason not to get it. Of the third myth so far, this is my second favorite. We'll see what happens when Caleb's comes out, but so far I really loved this. It's very long, it's basically 2 hours, so it's like a movie. You have a lot of content to play and read, and it's a good time overall. Moving on to the Kindled. The Kindled are very lovely as well. They suit the story very well. It follows the same format that the other third myths do, where the first Kindled is at the beginning of the story, and the second Kindled is at the very end of the story. Each Kindle is about like 3 minutes long, I think a bit over 3 minutes, but around that length. They are visually very stunning. They go along very well with the storyline. And as far as I can tell from what I looked up, like black MCs can be seen. I think the only part that like isn't the greatest is in like the second Kindled I saw, like when MC's like sitting on the stairs. She's not as visible. But for the most part, the lighting is pretty good. Again, I'm also going to link a channel down below that has videos of the black MC. So if you also have a black MC and that is something that you are worried about and you want to know going in what she will look like, you can go check out the Kindleds down below there. Now, outfits are a very subjective opinion, but I do actually feel like it's a little bit important to talk about since getting Sylus' outfit, you have to pull at the max 150 times. I like the outfits in terms of like aesthetic. I think they're very nice. I'm not a huge fan of MC's hair, but it's more like the bangs. Like I feel like without the hat, she looks a bit better. And I just don't, my MC doesn't really have bangs, so I don't really associate the bangs with her. But I mean, my MC's also not blonde either. But her hair is kind of very simple, but I mean, to be fair, the only hair I've really liked from the myths has been Raphael's. Raphael's was gorgeous and beautiful, and nothing has yet to top that, and I don't know if anything will. We'll see. However, I did want to let you know, because this is a very vampire theme, that if you do decide to get the companion, unfortunately, Sylus' fangs are not included. And that's a real bummer, if I'm being for real. I'm upset about this. I'm like, you advertise a vampire myth and you don't even give us his fangs, not even as an accessory. So it's like, if you want to put him in this outfit for Illusio, like, his fangs will not show up. And I feel like for most of the story, you only really get to see his fangs in the first Kindled, and I feel like they're just kind of forgotten about otherwise. Like, I feel like either they're there and they're just really not noticeable, but I feel like they just were not there. So if that is like, oh, I just want to pull to get the companion, maybe just for the outfit for Vampire Sylus, if you don't care about the battle portion of it, it's not worth it. Don't try to get it because you're not gonna get a vampire fangs with it, which that's annoying. Now, my personal opinion on whether or not you should get it. I am probably of the popular opinion that when it comes to myths, that's like the thing that's probably most worth it in the game to try to get. Not only do myths help you when it comes to battle in the game, but it also has a huge lore story behind it. And I think that's why a lot of people play the game. Like, maybe some people are playing the game just because of the fluff cards, and sure, I'm sure there's people like that out there. I enjoy the fluff cards quite a bit. But I think at its core, what makes Love in Deep Space so great is these stories that are filled with lore. And this is another alternate universe story that definitely has a lot of lore. And if you were a Sylus fan and you loved his dragon myth, this is for you. If you're a Sylus fan, I wouldn't miss on this one. I would definitely pull for this, because I think if you're a Sylus fan, you're gonna regret not getting this one. That being said, this will be rerun in about a year or so. As the myths from last year, we rerun this year. So you have a year to think about it if you're not sure. However, it's definitely cheaper to get it now, as the packs for reruns that you could buy in comparison to the packs you could buy now, you'll get them a lot cheaper now than you would on a rerun. Also, because of the way that the wishes rolled out, you get 10 free wishes from the event, but you get an extra 20 wishes because the game went #1 in China, and so they have given out free wishes. So there is 30 free wishes total. Now 10 of those aren't limited, so you can use those ones at any time if you don't want to pull on Sylus' myth. But if you are pulling on Sylus' myth, now you have 30 wishes to work with, which means that typically you would need, I think, around like 20,000 diamonds or so at max to just get rank 0, whereas now you would only need 16,500, which is still a lot, but you're getting it on a better deal than you might on a rerun. If Sylus is one of your mains, I definitely recommend getting this. This is one of the only myths that I've pulled on this year that I didn't have to go to 150. The only other myth I also didn't have to go to 150 to get the companion with, like go to the crate with, was Raphael. Raphael, I just got lucky. I don't know why I didn't try to rank him up because I totally should have, but oh well, doesn't matter now. I just got really lucky and was able to rank up Sylus. I think I was actually gonna stop at like 120, but then I got another one of his cards in the same 10 pull. It was a miracle, and I was like, well, at this point, might as well just try to get the crate and rank him up to R1, so I never do that. Anyways, I think this is definitely one that is worth it, so I would pull on it. I would get it. I did get it, and I have no regrets. I am very happy to have this. Anyways, that is all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more of this lovely face. And let me know down below if you are pulling for Sylus' myth. If you have already pulled and you just want to chat about it, you know, you can let me know your thoughts and opinions down below and we can chat some more. I love gushing about Sylus. I love him so much. But yeah, if you are pulling and you haven't pulled yet, hopefully this video helped you decide, I guess. And I wish you the best of luck. I hope you get them in 10 pulls, both cards, and you're just good to go. Anyways, that's all I have for you today, and I will see you guys soon in a new video. Goodbye!